We are live here at the CRL Honours Awards ceremony. The players are ready on the red carpet to see who's awarded the CRL Honours medal for season 1. I'm joined here by my pro analyst, Jilly Jombers and Liam Ryan. How are you on, boys?
Yeah, I'm excited tonight. It's been a long wait to see who gets this medal, so should be good.
Good night tonight. Feeling good about it tonight.
Now, for starters, boys, do you want to give us some bit of predictions? Just throw them at me. What do you got?
Yeah, I'll give you my prediction on the big one, the honors medal, the honors award. I think Ryan Papenause is going to get it. I don't think it'll be close. I think Pappy will get it. And for another prediction, I'll throw out I don't know, like Future Star Award, and I'll give it to Frankie Pele, the big man.
Cool. All right. For my predictions, I've got a second row. I'm gonna go and I'm pretty. He's outlandish, kind of not. I'm gonna go Ewan Aitken. He's been very good this season. And I really like what he's produced this season for Manly. And the big one, for the Sarah Honours Medal, I can't go past Ryan Papenause. An amazing season. I don't see anyone in his way that's going to take him over on points. We'll have to wait to see.
You heard it right here. It's going to be Ryan Papenhausen according to our expert analyst. However, does the stats on field reflect the points off the field for the Sarah Honours medal? We'll have to find out later tonight. I think it's time for us to move on to our first award, though, being the coach of the season, which goes to Liam Ryan, Ash Fazbear, Marshall, or Wombat. Boys, who do we think is going to get it based on these 4 nominees?
Oh, look. I'll speak since Liam's on here. I'll have a little speak about what I think. Quite frankly, I think it's between 2 people. I think it's between Liam Ryan and I think it's between Ash Fazbear. I think they've both been phenomenal coaches throughout the entirety of the season. But realistically, I can't go past Liam. I think he's really done well with his squad recruitment at the start of the season, and he's really put Sharks in he's built a good team and put the Sharks in a good spot to win a premiership.
Do we think Marshall and Wombat have a shot at getting it?
Wombat maybe to me. I think Wombat's got a bigger shot than Marshall has. I love the way he's turning that roster around, and he's doing it very quickly, and I love the way he's doing it. So I don't think Marshall has much of a chance.
Yeah, personally, I like how Wombat has sort of like stuck with his guns. He hasn't formed too many 2 trades in this transfer, and obviously we'll have to see if it pays off next season. But I like how he sort of handled it during this season, at least.
Yeah.
I guess it's time to move on to see who get the award. And the winner of the award of the coach of the season is Ash Fazbear. Congratulations. What's our thoughts on this, boys?
Yeah, I think it's deserved. Like I said, it was between the 2 of them. I think Ash thoroughly deserved it. He got quite a few players to bring out their best. I think Wade Egan, definitely. No one expected Wade Egan to do anything at the start of the season. You put him in that system and boom, now he's one of the star hookers. You throw in a Chris Lewis, who's really only started thriving at the end of the season, but you throw him in that system and boom, now he's one of the gun forwards in the league. Buys like Dave Fafita, that's a perfect buy. That complements his team very well. I think buys like Brian Kelly. Brian Kelly's been decent. I think that was a good buy as well. And overall, he's just really obviously he's in a grand final. I mean, he must have done some good to be in a grand final. So yeah, I think it's well deserved.
Yeah, what I really like about Ash personally is I think he's had a really good roster management throughout the whole season. He knows who his good players are and knows who's not. Obviously, had a few shocking transfers throughout the season, but I think genuinely during this season, he's got a squad to play the best possible out of them.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's time to move on to the nominees for the captain of the season, who are as follows: Jason Tamalolo, James Tedesco, Jerome Hughes, and Sean Johnson. Who do we think gets it from these nominees?
I think personally, Jason Tamalolo, he as much as I do think he was a very good player for the Raiders this season, the fact that they missed the finals and he and he he didn't really lead them. I didn't even know he's the captain until now, so don't really think he deserves it that much. I think the two that stand out to me are Hughes and Johnson. They led their boys around very well.
What I'll say about this is I agree with him on the Sean Johnson thing. I think Sean Johnson has really, really carried the Tigers in a big way. Obviously, he's one of their pretty much only signings, along with Kerr. I think there's someone else that I can't think of. And I actually disagree with you on Jason Tamalolo. I think he's not an obvious captain like a James Tedesco or a Jerome Hughes or a Sean Johnson. But he got out there. He's been getting out there every single game and really competing and really playing well. And he's leading by example. He's showing all the younger kids and even the veterans, oi, get behind me. We need to play like this. And I think it was good for the entirety of the season.
Yeah, with that, I think Sean Johnson is someone that didn't really show much on in terms of playing. But I think his captaincy behind the scenes and even on the field, just in terms of his voice, was something that would have really influenced the Tigers this year.
Yeah.
And just Tom Nolan, on the other hand, I think he's the exact opposite. I think his actions would have showed the boys how to play, while he wouldn't have talked as much. With that being said, I think it's time to reveal the captain of the season, who is Jason Tamalolo. Congratulations. What are our thoughts on it, boys?
Well, yeah, I just spoke on it, but yeah, it's definitely well deserved. He was really good.
Well deserved to him. He's a really good player of it, and did a really good job leading those boys around. Unlucky to him, they didn't make the finals. Well, they'll come back much stronger next season.
Well said. I think it's time, though, to move on to our next award, which is Centers of the Season. The nominees are Dylan Walker, Katoni Staggs, Wagga Blake, and Will Kennedy. What are our thoughts on these, boys?
Oh, look, there's a lot to dissect here, because all four of these centers were amazing. Like, all four of them. Katoni Staggs, probably one of Brisbane's best players. Wonga Blake, we know how dangerous he was off scrums, and just dangerous on the park in general. Will Kennedy, genuinely, can't count another center who's made so many line breaks. And Dylan Walker, he was Mr. Fix-It for the Seagulls, and played pretty well there when he was in the centers. So yeah, if I were to pick, I'd probably go Wonga Blake and Will Kennedy. I think Kennedy has been the best center in the league in general. And Wonga Blake, he was so good for the Eels.
Yeah, for sure. I think for me, I would personally go as you said, Julie. I think all four of these have been extremely good. I think I'd probably actually agree with you on both of them. Wagga Blake and Will Kennedy are basically. Wagga Blake hasn't, but he's been there the longest out of the other two, out of the other three. I think Will Kennedy's been good at centre all season, and Wagga Blake has been there the longest complete, and he was actually better at centre than he was at wing. So I think the both of them should get it. They played really well this season.
What I find interesting about these nominees is that I think a lot of them spent time in other positions. However, a lot of them too, when they managed to transfer those skills over to the centre.
Yeah.
And one of the real skills that I think went unnoticed with one of these players, particularly Dylan Walker, is something I really liked from him was seemed to be always just trying.
Yeah.
He didn't have any of these moments where he sort of went out and did just had this blitz moment, but he's always trying. He had those 1%ers. He would catch a lot of his tries he scored came with kicks, and I think that says a lot about him.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I guess it's time to reveal our centers of the season, who are Wagga Blake and Dylan Walker. Congratulations, boys. What are our thoughts on these boys winning it?
Well, yeah, like I said, I think Wonga Blake, definitely one of the top tier centers, and Dylan Walker was phenomenal for Manly throughout the season, and both of them really well deserved.
Not much to say.
Yeah, I agree with exactly what you said. Gilly, I guess it's time to move now on to our wingers of the season, who are as follows. Alex Johnson, Alan Montana-Zelezniak, Jason Saab, and Jordan Rapana. These four have been incredible all season, but who do you think is going to edge it out for this award?
Oh.
I'm personally thinking, I didn't really notice Alex Johnston too much, to be honest, at all this season, as apart from like 1 or 2 runs. So I don't really. I'm personally thinking it would be. I think Jordan Rapana was really good in a lot of those games. I'd probably say him and Dallin, to be honest. Dallin was incredible as well. Probably the best winger in the comp, undoubtedly, in my opinion. Manly turned him into a gold winger. Great job on them.
Look, I think that Manly's wing combo of Dallin and Jason, probably the best wing combo in the tournament, full stop. And I'm going to back them to go here. I think Dallin, like Liam said, best winger outright. I think Dallin played phenomenally this year. He was a great buy for Manly. And Jason Saab, he was just as good. He's unlucky to be a silver still. So I'm going to go Jason and Dallin.
Yeah.
I don't have much else to say apart from that. I think the Manly wingers, but just were really good at just breaking the line open out of nowhere. I think at one point in the season, Jason Saab was in fact leading the league in line break, which was incredible considering you'd expect it to be a fullback.
Yeah.
And then obviously, I think Jason Saab probably went a bit quiet towards the end of the season, but that just let Dallin light up the season even more.
Yeah.
I guess it's time to move on to our wingers of the season, who are Dallin Montana-Zelezniak and Jason Saab. Congratulations, boys. What are our thoughts on them winning it?
Yeah, I obviously I coached these guys for 7 rounds of this season. I honestly couldn't be prouder of these two, and yeah, I think they really deserve it. There was a lot of criticism early in the season about this particular winger, and these two have done really well this season to give faith.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, I agree. 100% agree with you. All right, it's time to move on to updating the daily endpoints we've had. So the CRL points, my bad. CRL Honours medal. So this is the what we had after round 4. Now, keep in mind, any player that has asterisks next to their number means that they either will be losing points at the end or they're ineligible due to the fact that they were suspended. So, as you can see, the unlucky Dane Laurie, he is ineligible. However, you know, who do you think will do well in round 5 to get some points?
Oh, I can't remember.
Round 5 from memory was the round. I know the Sharks as the Sharks coach. I think this was the round we went against the Knights. It could have been the Knights. It could have been.
I believe
don't
that was the
remember.
Knights, yes.
So if Papenause's versus the Knights, I think he at max gets 2. I think Ty would have got 3.
I'm thinking Tamalolo gets a +2 or 3. I'm also thinking he's not on this list, but I'm pretty sure in round 5 that was the game that the Eels and Penrith played, right?
Yes.
I'm thinking Nelson gets 3. Because I remember Nelson being really good in that game.
Interesting cause. I guess it's time to look at who earns points from each of these. Who notable points we have from those games. Who are Nelson Sutherland +3, Brian Toto +3, David Feeder +2, James Tedesco +3. Those are the notable points from this round as we move on to. And this is how they lead off after round 5. As you can see, Ryan Papenause is still in first. But Fafita is very close behind him, and Tedesco and Nelson are still in reach.
Yeah, I think Nelson's creeping up on him. That's what I've noticed.
Yeah.
He wasn't on the ladder for the last one.
I think Nelson's got a couple of good games coming. He'll give Papenause a shot for run for his money.
You know what? I also think Brian Toto could give him a run for his money as well. He's still in reach, and obviously Toto played really well at the end of the season. So
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see who can get up there as we move on to our next award, who is the best off the bench. The nominees are Connor Watson, Jack Bird, Siosiua Takiaho, and Taro Peachy. Who do you think wins it, boys?
it's hard to go past Peachy, right?
Yeah, it is.
I mean, Tigers feeling Peachy. I think he was the best off the bench by far. I think
I think it was one of the best players. Period.
yeah.
For sure.
I think something else to note though is I think some of these other boys, although they weren't, they didn't always have as much spark. I think a lot of them were consistent. I think Jack Bird, I think he's another smoky footy award. He sort of just came in wherever he needed, just sort of did his job, whether it was off the bench or it was starting at 5 out. I think he did one round. He just always did his job.
Yeah, I think Takiaho's a real underdog as well. He was silent pretty much the entire season, but he did well. Like he was underrated. He was just consistent the entire season, and he got up from a 85 to an 86 to a gold 88, which is pretty good off the bench.
Yeah, well, it's time to reveal the winner of the award. And the best off the bench winner is Tyron Peachy. Congratulations. What I thought to him winning it.
Yeah, no surprises here. Peachy was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Peachy definitely deserved it. I think he'll be pushing for a starting role next season. He definitely was very consistent in this Tigers outfit. Always seemed to be constantly in that team with the week, constantly coming off the bench, having amazing games. Probably at some points playing out better than Alex Twyhill starting. So
yeah,
looking forward to see how he goes throughout future seasons. All right, it's time to move on to our next award, who is the buy of the season. The nominees are Jason Tamalolo, Nelson Asafa-Solomona, Ryan Papenhausen, and Wade Egan. All 4 of these players were phenomenal throughout the season. Who do we think wins it from here? Buy of the season.
Yeah, I think they all 4 of these could win this. I think personally the Wade Egan, even though he was getting the best out of Wade Egan, I think that was more of he certainly dropped off at the end of the season a little bit for my liking. I'm probably gonna say one of Tamalolo and Nelson, to be honest.
Look, the way I see it is buy of the season. I think it's value, honestly, and I think if you look at those 3 players, you expect Tamalolo to perform, you expect Nelson to perform, you expect Ryan to perform. You don't expect Wade Egan to perform, and I think that for value, it is 100% the buy of the season. They've bought him. He's played starting hooker for them, which is a pretty vital position, and he's done phenomenally. So, in my eyes, I think Wade Egan's buy of the season.
Yeah, look, I think all 4 of these players had a phenomenal season, and I think all 4 of these players could even contend for the big award. But I think what this award really comes down to is who had the biggest impact on each team. I think that's a big thing for this team. I think all 4 of the players had a massive impact. And I'm interested to see who gets it. And as it's time to move on to the buy of the season winner, and the award goes to Ryan Papenhausen.
Yeah.
Do you think this is a bit of a surprise?
Nah, not really. I did say that I thought Wade Egan would win it, but I'm not surprised that Papenhausen won it. I think that the Sharks made a number of big buys, and Papenhausen, he was probably one of their dead list. Not probably, he was. Yeah.
There isn't a player on the field that I'd say was more deadly than he. And he was awesome all season. Even though he was quiet, he was still very good.
Well said by an expert analyst. It's time to move on to our next award, which is the underrated player of the season. And the nominees are Kevin Proctor, Mitch Barnett, Sam Walker, and Tom Starling. Who Who do you think will win this one?
Yeah, I think for me, I think Kevin Proctor. I don't see many people talking about him, and I really liked how he was going, and I think he was just really good. He was really good, and I didn't really notice it, and I think that's why he's underrated. And I've noticed Walker, I've noticed Barnett, I've noticed Starling. I think Proctor was the one that was really underrated and how good he was. So, yeah, Proctor for me.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna give it to Mitchy Barnett. I think he was great for the Knights. I think he was him, Toto, and Ponga probably the main contributors to why the Knights were reperforming or performing well toward the end of the season. And I thought that his meters up the field really got them out of their tough positions, and no one was really talking about him. I don't even think we had him on our team of the week once.
I think we may have had him once.
Interesting calls here by our expert analyst. I think that interesting about all these players is all these players seem to get overshadowed all the time. You know, Sam Walker seems to always talk about Luke Keary, Tom Starling. You know, there's better players in the forward pack, better players in the spine. No one really talks about him. Mitch Barnett. There's just Knights weren't ever doing well enough for them to be talked about, and even when they were, everyone just talked about Tonga. Sorry. And then Proctor, he just went completely under the radar. So I think any four of these men could win it. Let's find out who did win. The underrated player of the season, though, is Mitch Barnett. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Barnett, well deserved. I definitely think that he was very good for the Knights, especially when they started doing well. He was just really good for the Knights, and he worked hard through the middle, and I really liked what he did. Very good block for them, and yeah.
Yeah. I thought he was
Yeah, I
really
agree.
good too.
Yeah, 100% agree with you. All right, it's time for our next award, which this one's a funny one. We've got the overrated player of the season, and our nominees are Brandon Smith, Cody Walker, Daley Cherry Evans, and Satili Tupanua.
Oh,
Who do you think wins it?
look, all of these could fit. They all fit the bill. I think Brandon Smith was a little too good to get it. Cody Walker obviously went from a gold to a silver. Sorry, Cherry Evans obviously lost a few ratings, and Satili went from a gold to a silver as well. Personally, and this may be bias, I'm not gonna lie, I'd give it to Cherry Evans. I just wasn't impressed with him all season. I thought a lot was on his shoulders, and he didn't perform at all.
Yeah, look, I think that obviously for those that don't know, this award merged into used to be the biggest disappointment, sort of merged in the most overrated. We have players for both categories. I think Brandon Smith more fits the most overrated category. You know, we thought he was doing really well, but in actuality, he ended up getting a -2 in hooker. While players such as Cherry Evans and Cody Walker probably fit the biggest disappointment. Didn't really do much all season, either of those players.
I think for me, Brandon Smith. I think the thing for him was I didn't play. I wasn't. That was my behalf. The reason that he wasn't as good at he didn't get he got that -2. I think it was because he was only getting 60 minutes when I don't think any other club was taking their hooker off, and that's what I did. So it made me bite the bullet and get Brandon Smith a -2.
Yeah.
It was definitely a fair call. I don't know. I think that I think it's interesting. I guess we'll move on to the winner of the award, and it's Daley Cherry Evans. So I don't think there's any real surprise there, is there?
Yeah, no. Can't
No,
say there
not
is.
really surprised.
Probably was. Didn't really do much all season when people expected him to sort of be that marquee player for them. Luckily, there were other players that stood up, but I think that I don't like to blame players for this sort of stuff, but I think the mid-season decline from Seagulls were partially his fault. Didn't really stand up. But yeah, congratulations, Daley Cherry Evans, I guess. You got an award.
Yeah.
Time to move on, I guess, back to our CRL Honours medal tally. And as you can see, we actually had a bit of a glitch in there from round 5. We had a bit of error with our ladder. It's been fixed up now. This is what it should actually be looking like.
Yeah. Fafita up the top.
Yeah, so Dave Fafita's out in front. He was very good at the beginning of the season, wasn't he?
Yeah, he did play very well in this period of the year. I think it does start to drop off though, so he might want to get a few more points in this round or the next.
Yeah, I have to agree there. I think Tedesco and Papenause are tied. Do we think Tedesco makes a run for it maybe at this point? I think Roosters obviously still win quite a few games. Do you think he has a chance to take it out?
I think he could, yeah.
I think he could, but I don't think he will.
The way I see it though is if I think Tedesco was one of their best players, other than probably Sam Walker. So if the Roosters win, he's got to get some sort of points, in my opinion. I think he was too good in pretty much any game that they won. So I think he'll be competing for it. I think he will be competing for it.
I think so I think, Tedesco
Who do you think
could get
gets?
it.
Who do you think gets points in this round? Obviously, this is round 6 points we're going to be having.
Around 6 points. I think Papenause, I'd be shocked if he doesn't get 3.
I'm going to back Crichton to get 3. I'm going to back Toto to get 3. And other than that, I don't have too many more picks. I reckon Fafita and Nelson will get a few points as well.
Well, it's time to see how our notable points were from this round. Yeah, Dane Laurie got 3 points. Jerome Loy plus 3. Ryan Papenhausen plus 2. Brian Toto plus 2. Jason Tamalolo plus 1.
Oh.
And this is how the ladder looks after round 6. Ryan Papenhausen out on top. If it wasn't for that suspension, Dane Laurie would be up in there, but sadly he's ineligible. James Tedesco's still on the full. Do you think James Tedesco's on the full final? He still has a big chance. Obviously, only one good game, but Papenhausen's been good for the season.
I think that Tedesco's still got a chance.
He's got a chance, but what game did Papenause not fire him that he's not going to get a point in?
That's true.
And he didn't play in round 9 either, so we got to keep that in mind. So round 9 isn't going to count. Whereas Tedesco, Nelson, all those players that aren't in the Panthers, Tigers, and
he has a pretty good end of season. We think he can start to climb that up.
Tamalolo might start climbing as well. I think Crichton will also start climbing, and we'll see Crichton really come up into that top 5 area.
All right, we'll look back at the CRL Honours medal table later. We're going to get onto some more awards now. As the next award we have is the props of the season, and the nominees are Dale Finucane, Jacob Saifidi, Junior Totola, and Stefano Utoikamanu. Who do we think takes it out from here?
I think all 4 of these could take it out. I think Stefano is pretty much an outlier. I think he'll get one of the spots, but for the other 3, for the other spot, I think any of these 3 could get it. I wouldn't be shocked with any of them, to be honest. But if I had to say one, I'd say Jacob Saifidi.
Yeah, I think the Panthers-bound man is going to get there. I think Stefano Utoikamanu is basically a guarantee at this point. And for the second pick, I'm going to go Junior Totola, just because of how important he was to the Broncos. I thought that when the Broncos played well, he played well. So I'll go with him.
Yeah, look, I think that Jacob Saifidi probably was like. Something funny about the props was a lot of the goals didn't really fire. Jacob Saifidi was probably one of the only ones. Dale Finucane was always strong for the Sharks, and I think Junior Totola was always ready, always seemed to get momentum for the Broncos. So interesting to see who gets it from here as we move on to the winners of the prop of the season. And the props of the season are Stefano Utoikamanu and Dale Finucane. Do you think Dale Finucane's a bit of a shock?
No, not
I
really.
think he was solid.
I think he was. From what I remember about, he was a top 2 prop for most of the season. I did see him as a top 2 prop. He was doing very well at prop for 40 minutes. Probably one of our top players.
Very good words there by Liam Ryan himself, obviously the coach of the Alpha Nuke. And it's time to move on to our next award, though, who are the second rows of the season, and the nominees are David Fafita, Isaiah Papali'i, Kevin Proctor, and Tarek Sims. Who do you think wins it?
This shocks me, to be honest.
I think there's two obvious ones. Very obvious ones. I think the two obvious ones are Fafita and Papali'i. But I'm going to throw a little bit of an underdog in the hat, in the ring. I'm going to throw a little underdog in the ring. I'm going to put Tarek Sims. I'm going to say Fafita and Tarek Sims get it. Just because I think Tarek was really good for the Rabbitohs.
Julie, as much as I want to agree with you there, I am gonna go. I'm actually gonna go the two other ones. I'm gonna go Proctor and Papali'i. I actually thought that the both of these were. I think Fafita falls off massively at the end of the season. And Proctor and Papali'i was very good at the back end of the season. He was very underrated for most of the season. I think Sims. So I'm going to say Proctor and Papali'i, and Proctor was very underrated. Same with Sims, to be honest.
Yeah, look, with this award, it's a bit of an interesting one. I think Proctor, who's very underrated for the rest of the season, I actually think that Proctor massively deserves it. Fafita, he was his barnstorming best all season, scored quite a few times. But Tarek Sims, in my opinion, if he played for a better squad, he would be out and away for best second row in the competition. Whenever the Rabbitohs played slightly well, he was making like at least 100 meters. Some games 200 meters plus. So it was interesting to see who gets the award.
Yeah.
As our second row of the season are David Fafita and Isaiah Papali'i. Just ignore that little error there with the props of the season. That is a minor error.
Yeah. Like I said, these are the two obvious ones. Like, they definitely deserve it, both of them. Fafita was one of Penrith's best, and Papali'i was the same for the Eels.
Papali'i deserved it. I'm thinking a little bit. I think Proctor could have got it, but hey, well done to Fafita.
Look, I think with how Fafita played throughout the season and how good he was at his best, I think he still deserves it, to be honest.
Back end of
And
season.
good job to him.
Good job.
As it's time to move on to our next award, who are the surprise packet of the season, and the nominees are Anthony Milford, Paul Vaughan, Tyrone Peachy, and Wade Egan. What are our thoughts on these boys?
I mentioned it earlier when I said best buy this season. I actually think this fits better who I was talking about. Wade Egan. No one expected Wade Egan to perform. Nobody. He's only an 80 rated bronze hooker. I mean, and he came out and he finished the best hooker in the league, I believe. So yeah, he was good, and yeah, I think that he wins it.
I think, to be honest, Milford, he was all across the field and he just excelled expectations for me. I think Milford, I didn't expect him to perform much. I thought, oh yeah, Milford, he'll be okay. He'll be okay at best. Oh yeah, he comes out just being utility everywhere. And I'm loving the way that he was being used by the Broncos. He was a real spark for them wherever he played. I'm saying Milford, to be honest.
Yeah, I think Wade Egan obviously is the obvious choice. No one really expected him to perform. But I think you could say 3 out of 4 of these guys. I'd say Peachy had a bit of expectation that he'd do something for the Tigers. I think the other 3, no one expected him to be up there. Paul Vaughan, I think he's one of the top props in the competition at the moment. Anthony Milford, wherever he played 5 out of fullback, he was playing incredible. Wade Egan, probably up there with one of the best hookers. So I think any of these 4 can win. And Tyrone Peachy, obviously, he had an amazing season. We've already talked about him.
Yeah.
As our surprise packet of the season is Wade Egan. Congratulations. No real surprises there, is there?
Nah.
Yeah, there's no real surprises there, to be honest.
Yeah, I think he was an obvious one. As we move on to our next award, the future star of the season, we have Blake Taff, Channel Harris DeVita, Franklin Pele, and Xavier Savage. Who do you think wins this one?
Well, I mentioned it earlier. I mentioned it before we started. I think Frankie Pele gets this. I think Franklin Pele is a. I've been against him all season, but he went up 2 ratings. He played well. He's at a good club now with the Sharks. Look, I think if he's used right and he could get a few more ratings, then he could be a really big star in the CRL in years to come. Just a quick touch on Taff. I think that he's the same thing. I would be surprised if he starts halfback for Rabbits next season. And Chanel Harris, DeVita, and Xavier Savage, they were good, and they had their opportunities and they executed on it when they did.
For me, I'm thinking Xavier Savage. He was just electric whenever he did things at a center. When he was playing center, that just said it all. And his wing performance, where he ran for over 200 meters, just incredible. He's my pick for it. He's a future star for sure. And Canberra re-signed him for 5 years.
Yeah, I think all 5 of these guys could fit the award if they, could fit it very well. I think it's just going to come down to, who made the biggest impact on the team, which, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. As our future star of the season is Xavier Savage. Congratulations.
Yeah, good job to Savage. As I said, I think he really was just an awesome player wherever he played in the starting team, center or foot or wing, just incredible, and should be happy to stay in with Canberra.
Yeah, I think Savage played really well whenever he played. I think he played well in center, played well at wing, and I think he deserves it. Well, it's time to move on to our updated CRL Honours Award Honours medal tally. As we left off at round 6, who do you think is going to be, up there for round 7? Who do you think is going to earn points and be able to move up the ladder more?
Papenause. Just Papenause. I think Papenause will. I think Toto will. I think Nelson will. Those are my picks, and I'm sticking with those 3 until round 8, I reckon.
Yeah, I think Papenause, as you said, I think Toto's probably going to move up a bit. He, from memory, had a really good round 7. I
Isn't
believe,
round
which
7? Round 7 was the first win for the Knights, yeah, against the Rabbits.
No, it wasn't. It was this. It was their heartbreak loss to the Panthers, where they were a better side for 72 minutes.
Yep.
It's I guess it's time to move on to our notable points then. We'll see you can start off as Brian Tor, 1 point. Ryan Papenhausen, 2 points. Jake Trbojevic, 1 point. Dane Laurie, 3 points. Jason Tumlolo, 3 points. James Tedesco, 2 points, I think it was. And our updated ladder is right there.
This
Players
really
are stretching
sucks
more
for
and
Laurie.
more.
Laurie was going to compete with Happy if he wasn't suspended.
Yeah. But look, I think we're going to see Papenhausen pull away. We've only got one more round that Papenhausen plays. I would like to see him get a +2 or 3 at least to confirm his spot.
Do we think that he will get enough points in this final round to
8, didn't they? It was against Manly. They won round 8.
Do we think they'll get enough points to
No, that was round 7.
Manly.
That was round 7.
They're playing round 8 then.
Who'd they play round 8? They played
Rabbitohs? Rabbitohs.
They played the Rabbitohs. Oh, look, I don't know if Papenhausen was that great in that game. I would be worried.
Do you think Papenhausen gets enough points to confirm his spot, or do we think we'll have to go to the final round? It's going to be interesting, isn't it?
I think this is going to go to the final round.
I think Papenhausen I
Go
think
on,
he was
sorry,
good
Liam.
enough to get 3. I think he was good enough to get 3. I don't see anyone really taking that 3 off of him. Maybe McInnes, the only one I can see taking 3 off him.
Well, then it's time to move on to our next award, which is the hooker of the season. Our nominees are Harry Grant, Jackson Hastings, Reid Marnie, and Wade Egan. Who do you think wins this?
Look, I'm gonna be biased. I've been trying to avoid bias all night, but I remember at the start of the season I was talking to Liam on an episode of CRL 360 about how Harry Grant was gonna win Daley Hooker of the Year, and I think he was good enough this year. I think he was good enough to win it. He was one of Manly's best players, along with Jake Trbojevic and Tom Trbojevic, and yeah, I think Harry Grant's gonna get it.
I made myself bite the bullet on that comment. I think yeah, Harry. I'm actually gonna agree with you. I think Harry Grant will win this.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I think all 4 of these players played really good. I think 3 out of 4 of these guys got an effort attack. What I will say is Reid Marnie. I think he is really the underrated one here because he got in here pretty much because of his defense. His defense is probably the best player in the competition, period.
Well, yeah, he
I
went.
think he has a chance to get it.
How many rounds did he go without missing a tackle? It was only
Like
recently
5
that
or
he.
6 or,
Yeah,
5 or 6 or something.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was quite a lot. So yeah, his defense was great, and wouldn't be surprised if we see his name pop up when we reveal the player hooker of the season.
Yes, it's time to reveal that right now. And the hooker of the season is Wade Egan from the Penrith Panthers.
Yeah, I think
Our
that's fair.
thoughts on it?
Wade Egan's having a good night.
Yeah, I think he's deserved it though. I think Wade Egan, like I said, Ash brought the best out of him, and Wade Egan's been one of the best players in the league. Period.
I just want to agree with you there. I think he's been, absolutely probably one of the better players in the competition, let alone hooker. So, well done to him. As we move on to our next award, our halfback of the season, and the nominees are Adam Reynolds, Jamal Fogarty, Sam Walker, and Sean Johnson. What do you think of these nominees?
Look,
Yeah.
I think personally, I have to go to Sean Johnson, just based on the impact that he provided for the Tigers. I think if he's not there, the Tigers don't do nearly as well. I think that applies with players like Jamal Fogarty as well. I think if Jamal Fogarty is in that team, Raiders don't do as well. So I think that's a pretty good pick as well. I think Adam Reynolds was really good for the Broncos. And he's obviously not moving anywhere from his number 7 position. And Sam Walker going to the Raiders, right?
Yes.
For me,
With Jamal Fogarty, in fact, that's going to be an interesting competition, isn't it?
Yeah, it will be. I think Sam Walker he's got a bright future ahead of him in the CRL, and I also wouldn't be surprised if he won.
For me, I think Reno. I think if you got to think about it this way, the impact Reno had on them. I think if Reno's not there, they could potentially win the spoon. I strongly think they could win the spoon. If they don't win the spoon, it will be because of Wombat's brilliant coaching. But like, I don't think I think if Renault's not there, they would have won the spoon. So, yeah, Renault for me.
Interesting call here by our co-host. I guess we'll move on to the winner of the award now, and the halfback of the season is Adam Reynolds. Congratulations. What are our thoughts on him winning it?
Not much to say about him. Just phenomenal season. Played a really good season, even though the Broncos finished so low. But well done him.
Well, yeah, I agree. I agree with what you said about Reynolds. With the spoon thing, I think that's true. I think Reynolds gets injured or he gets suspended, I think the Broncos are in a bit of a tougher position. But yeah, he was really good.
Yeah, I think Adam Reynolds probably outright was the best halfback. I think he really, his kicking game was phenomenal. He set up, I think, up there with the most tries of any halfback. Might have been Sam Walker, but still. His running game was something I was really impressed with. Adam Reynolds not really known for his running game, but his running game was really good this year, I think. And yeah, I guess it's time to move on to our next award. The 5'8" of the season. Adam Dewey, Anthony Milford, Channel Harris-Tavita, and Jerome Hughes. What are our thoughts on these nominees?
Well, I think out of these four, it has to be between two. As much as I love Anthony Milford, I can't give it to him. I think it'll be out of Jerome Hughes and Adam Dewey, and I'm gonna go Adam Dewey, just because of his consistency. He didn't play a bad game.
I'll agree with you. I think Dewey
interesting-
definitely was better one.
The interesting thing about the 5 is obviously we have probably our two best 5'8" ruled out with Jack One and Jerome Luai both having 3-game suspensions. Which is unfortunate, but I think it's definitely between Dewey and Hughes. I think Harris-Tavita could also be a shocker. He had a very good start to the season, dropped off towards the middle, picked it back up towards the end, and I'm interested to see who gets it.
I'm thinking Dewey.
Well, we'll have to find out. Our 5'8" of the season is Jerome Hughes. A bit of a shock of that one.
Yeah, I'm actually a bit shocked.
I'm shocked. Yeah.
Even as his coach, I didn't even think Hughes standing chance. I thought Hughes was a really good 5'8". He just led the boys around, and that's what I was really impressed about with him. The impact that he had, just leading the boys around as the captain too. So really liked what he was doing.
Yeah, what I will say is that the interesting thing was when we had the vote between who would get this is Hughes got Hughes didn't really get first place at all. He got first place once, but he never got below third. Everyone put him second or higher, while Dewey, a lot of people put him first, but a lot of people also put him third or fourth, which brought his ranking down to just below Hughes. So Hughes did only just edge him out, but he did well. He did, but people voted him relatively higher than Dewey, which is pretty good on his part. Guess it's time to move on to our third last award of the evening, the lock of the season. And the nominees are Jake Trbojevic, Jason Tamalolo, Mitch Barnett, and Nelson Solomona. What are our thoughts on these boys?
I think there's a clear choice. And I'm gonna go with Jason Tamalolo. I think I mentioned it earlier. He was really good. Didn't play a bad game. Led the pack around for the Raiders. Really contributed to their wins when they did win. However, wouldn't be surprised if Nelson won it. Nelson's switch mid-season to lock was an amazing choice from NSL, the Parramatta Eels head coach, and Jakey Trbojevic, obviously Manly's best player. Again, he didn't play a bad game, and in a team that moved around so much, I don't think he barely moved. So yeah, he played well as well.
I think as I said at the start, I think Tamalolo win it.
Yeah, look, I think all four of these guys were Mr. Consistent for the team, and I think the difference between the winner and the rest is going to be not only were they Mr. Consistent, they were consistently at breaking the line, and I think that's what it's going to come down to. And the lock of the season is Jason Tamalolo. Congratulations.
Yeah, as we mentioned, he definitely deserved it. I think he was by far the best lock. Really consistent, broke the line a lot, made a lot of meters. So yeah, he was definitely deserved it.
Yeah, I think Jason Tamalolo, he actually had over 1,000 meters. I believe he might be the only player. Maybe Jake Trbojevic might, but I think he might be the only player here that has over 1,000 meters and is a forward, not even a hooker, a forward,
Yeah,
or a fullback. So Good job, Jason. You did very well. As we move on to the CRL votes once again, the latter as we left off on round 7. Who do we think gets points, and do we think that Papenause will do enough to confirm it from this round onwards?
It's
as I
tough.
said, as I said earlier, I don't think anyone on the because we remember that it was 12-6 to the Sharks that game that we're talking about now. The only one that I think it can take the 3 off Papenhausen would be Cameron McInnes. So if it isn't McInnes, I think Papenhausen takes 3.
Look, the way I see it is Papenhausen gets 3 points here, right? That puts him on 14. The only player that can compete with him really is James Tedesco. All right, even if he gets 2 points, I think James Tedesco is still the only player. Maybe Jason Tamalolo, because I know David Fifita doesn't play in the last game. So Jason Tamalolo would need a set of 3 points. And I don't think that happens. I don't think he gets 3 points in a row, considering Raiders missed finals. And Tedesco would need 3 points and a 2 point if Papenhausen were to get 3.
Let me check. What was the Roosters? Who the Roosters? They played the Broncos. I can't
They
say.
lost
I don't even
that
think
game by a
Tedesco.
lot.
I don't think Tedesco's getting many points in this game. At best, 1.
I think Papenhausen needs 2 points to secure his position,
Which I think he will. I don't see a Bunnies player getting 2. I think a Bunnies player will get 1.
The thing is, I don't remember Papenhausen doing anything in that game.
He ran for about 100. He scored a try. Got about 170 meters. He wasn't bad. He was a Sharks leading run meter player. So
I think he's done enough, but I think it's going to be interesting to see the final results.
It will be interesting, certainly it will. All right, let's move on to the points from this round. And Tommy Talau, 3 points. AJ Brimson, 2 points. James Tedesco, 1 point. Do we think... So, if Papenhausen earns a 3, he is 1. Do we think he'll earn a 3?
I think he will.
I don't think he has a 3. I don't think he has a 3. I don't think he was good enough in that game.
But tell me who's taking the 3 off of him?
Oh, I don't know, but I don't think it's Papenhausen.
I'm telling you, the only one that can take it off him is McInnes.
Well, let's see how Papenhausen went in his final game of the season. Tarek Sims, 1 point. Cameron McKinnon's, 2 points. And your CRL and fullback of the season is Ryan Papenhausen, who earned 3 points, securing the medal and the victory.
Well done to Ryan Papenhausen.
The CRL Honour medalist is Ryan Papenhausen.
Wow.
What are our thoughts on him winning it, boys?
Yeah, we both called it at the start. I think this is well deserved. And we've got our first medalist. History has been made today.
Yes, it has.
Wow, what a season. Was one of the the biggest player on the Sharks. Led them. He was one of the ones that picked the boys' spirits up mid-season, and he really sacrificed his own game to get the boys going. And it's really what pushed the Sharks into the finals. So, good job on him.
Yeah, and to top it all off, we got him possibly winning a premiership coming up. So he'll want to top off his season with that as well. And yeah.
Well said. If you want to click over to the next slide, we actually see the final tally. And this was it now. Daley has been taken out. However, if he was not suspended, he would have tied with Papenhausen on 14 points.
Oh.
So Daley will have to live for the rest of his life knowing that had he not done suspended, he would have tied with Papenhausen. And depending on if he played or not, he would have he could have had the chance to
Yeah.
overtake him. So yeah. James
think
Tedesco did come
Corey
very
was
close, got
just bad.
13 points. Tom Waller finished on 10. Tom Javovic had a late little comeback after his, brilliant last couple games. And yeah. And I think that is it for us, boys. Here's a little quick summary of all the awards we had tonight. Once again, any real surprises? What's the biggest shocking award you have?
The most shocking award. I find it interesting. This is probably the only thing that I find shocking, but I'm surprised Will Kennedy isn't in the centers of the year. That's I'm very surprised by that. But other than that, I think none of these are that surprising.
Yeah, I have to agree with you.
Just Will Kennedy. Unlucky to miss out.
Will Kennedy will come back stronger next season.
Well said, boys. And I guess that's it from us. I've been your host, Lachlan Martin. Thank you all for joining us. It was a pleasure doing this award. Congratulations once again to Ryan Papenause, who earned not only the fullback of the year, but the CRL Honours medal. History has been made. I'm your host, Lachlan Martin. Thank you, my expert analyst and co-host, Jilly Jombers and Liam Ryan, for joining us. And I'll see you guys later.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.